So this question over here says that the scatter plot below displays the resting pulse rate in beats per minute and the time spent exercising in hours per week of 16 students. A least squares line has been fitted to this data. So question 7 is saying that using this least squares line to model the association between rest and pulse rate and time spent exercising, the residual for the student who spent 4 hours per week exercising closest to. So if we have a look at the scatter plot, we can see that the time spent exercising is the explanatory variable, whereas the resting pulse rate is a response variable. So we're after the residual, and remember that the residual is y actual minus y predicted. So y predicted we get from the least squares regression line, so from the scatter plot, and it has to fit on this least squares regression line, whereas y actual is the actual data point. And we're after students who spent 4 hours per week exercising. So students who spent 4 hours per week exercising. So if we go up, we can see that the actual value is 63. So that goes under y actual. And y predicted is 64 because that's where it hits on the least squares regression line. So often in questions we're provided with the least squares regression equation and we substitute the EV to find the response variable. But in this case, we've been given a graph and we've been given the least squares regression line, and we can find the corresponding y predicted by looking where our actual point, looking at where our EV hits our least squares regression line. So minus 64, and that gives us -1. So the answer is -1 beats per minute.